tech team, are you ready? And we started recording. All right, y'all. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Reform Dallas Election Series. My name is Karen Almendarez, and I'll be your moderator tonight. We also want to introduce Micah Moore, Soraya Santos, and Millie Domenech, who will be helping us with timekeeping and technical duties. Reform Dallas is an informal organization of Dallasites committed to honest and transparent local government. You may be one of the 12,000 members of our Reform Dallas Facebook group. If not, we'd love for you to join us. We also offer independent journalism on the web, where you'll also find the city's very best guide to our municipal elections. Check it out at reformdallas.io. That's reformdallas.io. Reform Dallas does not make candidate endorsements, although our members have opinions like anyone else. The point of these forums is to let the candidates speak to all of us and take their best shot at earning our votes. We want this to be fair and an illuminating experience for everyone here. So we'll have two segments tonight. In the first segment, each candidate gets a short intro, and then we move on to prepared questions that each candidate will answer. For the second segment, we'll open up for audience questions, so stick around for that. Please submit your questions to Soraya in the Zoom chat panel anytime, and if we like your question, we will call on you in the second segment to pose your questions directly to the candidates. One last thing, we will be publishing the recorded forums on our website and in the Facebook group. So by participating tonight, you expressly give us permission to do just that. So with that, here are your candidates in District 8. LaColia London and Devontae Peters have graciously joined us tonight. Welcome, and let's go ahead and applaud. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you. You're welcome.
So incumbent Tanel Atkins and candidate Sabrina Benham were also extended invitations, but they were not able to attend. All right, y'all, here we go. Candidates, we're going to give you 2 minutes for your answers. LaColia, you have 2 minutes. Tell us who you are and why we should want to vote for you.
Okay. My name is LaColia London. I am the candidate that will fight for you, that will do whatever. So I am in this. I'm in District 8, and I'm fighting really to get food access. We need food access in our neighborhood, as well as we need police presence in the daytime. We only get it at night, and the issue is a lot of seniors are saying that we don't get anyone. They don't get the presence in the daytime, and that's when the burglaries are happening to homes. So I am in this race to fight for everything, especially a grocery store and for police presence in the daytime. One thing I do want to do is put a Winco in this neighborhood. I want to try to get a Winco or even an Aldi if we have to, even a Central Market if we can get them to come out here. So I think that the people that's in the Economic Development Department, they haven't been doing a good job with trying to help us, because food access is a health issue, and we really do need to have food in our own neighborhood.
Alrighty, thank you so much, LaColia.
Okay.
Devontae, tell us about yourself and why we'd want to vote for you.
Hello, yeah, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Devontae D. Peters. I also go by Brother Shaw. I happen to be a musician, a store owner. I own the Alkaline Hour Health Store located at 4414 South Marsalis Avenue in Glendale, Texas, or Glendale Shopping Center in Oak Cliff. What separates me is I'm not a politician. I'm not looking to be a politician. I actually refer to myself as a people-tician. I will never put corporate interests over the interests of the common person, over the neighborhood. And, a lot of times they ask, what are the main issues in the district? And I feel like they all stem from one issue, one root, and that is the lack of leadership. We need someone in the district who is not self-serving, who will put their personal interests and the interests of corporations and big businesses. They won't put them over themselves. They will put, I apologize. Yeah, we'll put somebody that'll put the people's interests over the interests over big businesses. I'm that person. Like I said, I'm not a politician. I'm not somebody who's going to sit here and make empty promises. I'm actually in the community. Not only was I a part of the Dallas 9 protest that spread awareness for both Botham Jean and police brutality in Dallas, I also led the efforts to get Lamar Street south of I-30 changed to Botham Jean Boulevard, which the ceremony will be taking place this Saturday on the 27th. I encourage y'all guys to be there. Unfortunately, I do not fit the narrative that the city, wants to push. So I will not be speaking. I will not have, at the ceremony, but I will be in attendance to show solidarity for Botham and his family. I'm a community organizer, community activist. I want to take my activism to City Hall, so we can have somebody that'll stand up to big corporations. And me being a store owner, I know if I got the same support that these big companies get in the city of Dallas, and I could hire my own people, or other small businesses, we can hire our own people and change the dynamics ourselves. So thank you for considering me.
Alrighty, thank you, candidates. Let's move on to questions. Here are the ground rules. I'll ask a question and each candidate is going to get 2 minutes to respond. Again, when your time is up, Micah or Millie will stop you. If we feel an answer needs a follow-up, we'll ask it and we'll give the candidate a reasonable amount of time to respond. We are interested in your ideas and to know how you'll approach the job, so let's get started. Our first question is going to be a public safety question. What are your specific budget priorities for public safety, and which allocations will you support? What changes would you propose, and how will those ideas improve policing in District 8? We'll start with LaCoila.
Okay, one thing I want to do, like I said, what I want to change is the police presence in the daytime. We need them out there patrolling. I see them sitting. I mean, they're hiding behind churches. They're hiding down streets that don't even have a house. So the issue is, before the election, I have been reporting a lot of things about how they're just sitting down Skyline Ranch street. There's nothing there but land. So my issue is I need them to be out there in the daytime. So I am not for defunding the police, because it's not going to work here in Dallas at all due to the people that we have. We don't have a large number of police presence already, but I do promote them getting rid of the bad apples. You got to get rid of the people that are doing the crimes. Like you can't let a person get killed in their home. You can't let a person get killed looking out the window. That stuff got to stop happening here in Texas. So the issue is, I'm not for no defunding anything, but I am for them working. They have to patrol the district in the daytime. This is an issue that seniors are talking about.
Thank you, LaCoila.
Oh, okay.
And Devontae, your 2 minutes will start after this. What are your specific budget priorities for public safety and allocations you will support? What changes would you propose, and how will those ideas improve policing in District 8? Go ahead.
Well, thank you for the question. I am kind of on the opposite side of the spectrum. I do feel like the police are well funded. They get over, public safety gets over 60% of the $3.9 billion budget that, the city is allocated. I think the thing is we should find out where is this money actually going to. When people talk about defunding the police, I think that looks like not necessarily, well, it looks like not having in the budget funds for less lethal ammunition that we understand is lethal, that they use on protesters. Also, I don't feel like the police should have tanks and military weapons that they use as a militant force in our neighborhoods. We also have in Highland Hills, at least, we have a South Central police station not too far from one of the most volatile communities in the city of Dallas, which is Highland Hills. So somebody like myself, I was living in the Greens apartments, one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in the city. I went in and dramatically lower the crime, violent crime rate by leading armed patrols in the neighborhood while I was living there. And even the department manager, this is something that y'all can look up if y'all would like to learn more. Our story went national, was on WFFA. So somebody like myself with no budget was able to, show the community that you can step in, be a role model, and change the dynamics of your neighborhood. Furthermore, when I talk to the people, when they call the police, they do not come. So I think what it looks like, my priorities would be finding more sustainable options, and cutting some of the budget that makes the police not become a militant force in Black communities and poor neighborhoods, because they don't militarize themselves north of I-30. In addition to that, I feel like mental health issues, or the STAR program, whatever they call it, mental health calls. Oh, okay. We should fund mental health programs.
Thank you, Devontae. All right, y'all. Your next question is going to be a community question. You have lived and block walked in District 8 for some time now. What do you hear from the community about their concerns and fears? What do District 8 residents care about? Devontae, we'll start with you.
Yeah, most of it, like, people want to believe in the system. They want to believe in politics, but they're disheartened. They're tired of somebody coming to their neighborhood, lying to them every 2 years and only come and show out during election season. Other than that, people district-wide, they want to feel safe in their communities, in their home, especially the seniors, even the young folks want to feel safe. In addition to that, we want not only a grocery store, which district-wide is a food desert. We need grocery stores that will not add an additional 10% tax to the goods such as Cash Saver Plus. But we need something that we're proud of, a grocery model that we would love to come to. In addition to that, we're not a part of the economic conversation. We have a council member whose office is very lavish, but they're in a very, a vulnerable community. I wish the community outside of this office was as lavish as our council member's office is. So, district-wide, there are similar issues which stem from safety, security, the lack of food, and then the lack of being a part of the economic conversation. Also, not just affordable housing, but low income housing, because affordable is definitely a relative term. So we need low income housing, and as well as economic opportunity for people to become actual homeowners. So those are kind of the things I'm hearing.
Thank you, Devontae. LaQuayla, I'll repeat the question for you. You have lived and block walked in District 8 for some time now. What do you hear from the community about their concerns and fears? What do District 8 residents care about?
Well, one thing I do want to discuss is when I went to Pleasant Grove, I had a Spanish lady to tell me that they didn't feel like they was part of the process. They haven't felt like that for years. So the issue is, I go into a Latino community, and then I hear something like, she went all the way from getting visas. She said no one happened on that. She said it's very, very hard to do it, to even get a visa. She was really happy that I knocked on her door. She said no one of color, I'm saying of color, no one of color has never knocked on her door, and she's been living there for over 20 years. So she was just excited. She said that she feel that no one talks to the Latino people that's in the neighborhood unless they're Spanish. And so the thing is, well, I said, I told her one thing I do know, that they probably send someone that really already speaks Spanish. But she said that wasn't the issue. She said they would like to be a part of the political process. She said it doesn't make any sense that they feel that, well, she felt, I'm gonna say what she felt. She felt that when people come to the neighborhood, they feel that everybody there are illegal immigrants. And so then when I asked her to elaborate on it, she said, well, the thing is, it's probably 3 or 4 people on her street that can vote. But she said there are people on her street that she tried to help, to even try to make them legal citizens. But when she tried to reach out to the city, she said she don't get any help. She said it doesn't matter which way she go, nothing has been done. She said she's been there for 20-some years. So that's one issue that I want to address. And police presence in the daytime was one issue that I'm getting from every senior, just about. I mean, one lady was talking about how she had to have a dog in her home. she really didn't want it. She really don't want it in her home, but she have no choice. She said that she have to love her to keep herself safe. That's what she was gonna do. Oh, my time is up.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, LaCoila. And as a reminder to our viewing audience, you can ask questions to the candidates. We'll have a section for that. You'll send them directly to Soraya. Just use your Zoom chat and you're able to send them to her. If we pick your question, we'll let you know. We're going to move on into our third question now, and it's going to be about activism. Between the pandemic and the ice storm, the past 12 months have been challenging. In what ways did you help your community face these problems? Also, how do those experiences translate into future advocacy on the city council? LaCoila, we'll start with you. Go ahead.
Okay, one thing I did, I was finding busted pipes, and I get calls about everything. So I was getting calls about busted pipes because I have relatives that live in Miss Owner's district. So I was getting calls about that. Then people needing water. I did help a couple people get water, and I walked the streets, and I kept calling the city pretty much every 5 minutes because there was pipes being busted. I even started filming. I had to start filming it so they can see what I was talking about, how it was one real bad leak that they had that was going down Beckley and Sainer. But the water was busted like a whole block away. So we was letting them know that, hey, maybe y'all don't understand what I'm saying. So I started filming it so I can get everybody to understand that, hey, there's a water main leak right here. This water needs to be cut off. And it was a detail shop. He didn't know what to do. He said that he called all the time about different things, and they don't ever respond. So he gave up on calling. And so the issue is, that's one thing I wanted to do. My main goal was to try to get people water back on. So I was going around the whole entire city, just about working everywhere.
Talking back. Yeah, Bob.
Thank you, LaCoila. Are you done answering? I hear some sound in the background. All right. So we are going to ask this same question to Devante. And to repeat, between the pandemic and the ice storm, the past 12 months have been challenging. In what ways did you help your community face these problems? Also, how will those experiences translate into future advocacy on the city council? Go ahead, Mr. Peters.
Definitely. Thank you for the question. So I actually opened a store, a health store, to help people that weren't, getting, especially when the pandemic first started. A lot of people were getting sent home with no medicine, with no anything to help them alleviate from the flu, or from COVID. I actually created a company that helps people, on the other spectrum, as far as holistic herbs, things of that nature. I'm in my store right now. I was able to put this into a physical brick and mortar in Glendale, in Oak Cliff, a very vulnerable community. We also know that, 75216 is one of the most unhealthy zip codes in the state of Texas, along with 75241. So these are areas I've served, helping people combat COVID with an all natural, remedies. In addition to that, during the Texas winter storm, I did not wait until the sun came out. I did not wait till the snow resided. I actually faced the elements that help single mothers and single parents, single fathers as well, get diapers, food, water. I also even partnered with people like Kevin Hicks, a member of Reform Dallas, to get water to very vulnerable neighborhoods that nobody cared about. So, that's kind of the work I do. Furthermore, this will transcend, this is just what I do, you know what I'm saying? So I would further continue to support people in the most vulnerable communities when the city doesn't care, when they feel forgotten. So between creating a company that helps so many people, when I could have went to North Dallas, I could have, been like any other capitalist person to see what's the most profitable communities that I could get in. But instead, I came to one of the most vulnerable communities and created a health store to help people with not only COVID, not only, health issues, but also I faced the elements. I went outside and drove in the snow. Also,
that's time.
Thank you, Mr. Peters.
Mm-hmm.
All right. For our next question, we'll start with Mr. Peters. This is going to be another public safety question. Defund the police, fund the communities. Back the blue. Reimagine public safety. There are any number of slogans that all speak to one core sentiment. Many people in Dallas feel that we need new approaches to reducing crime in our neighborhoods. What are your specific budget priorities for public safety and allocations you will support? What changes would you propose, and how will those ideas improve policing in District 8? Devontae, go ahead.
All right, thank you. I feel like defunding the police for me means demilitarizing the police. Take out funding from them to not be a militant occupying force that actually instigates crime, that looks for crime. We also understand that if there was no crime, then there would be no police. So for them to even be an institution, they have to have crime. So furthermore, I feel like we need to fund small businesses. We need to fund nonprofits. We need to take some of that funding to give to vocational centers for so youth and young people or people who are doing who are being a menace to their community can actually be of value to the community. Because what it is, a lot of people are committing survival crimes. They're trying to find out how they're going to pay the rent. They're trying to find out how they're going to commute to work and just cope with everyday life at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? At the bottom of the barrel. So my thing is we need to fund a small, like I said, if I was able to get some of the same support that Uber or who have you gets in our city, I could hire some of these people who are trying to steal to get a meal, excuse me. So that's my thing. Support nonprofits that are doing the work, support small businesses so we can hire our own people from our own communities. Also, we need to fund mental health situations because almost two in every three phone calls deal with homeless or mental health people. So if we can divert some of that attention to mental health, a special task force for them, I think they call it the STAR program, whatever you want to call it. I feel like we could, divert a lot of the attention. And then there's so many police vehicles just sitting out here. They get all these upgrades, but when the community is suffering, and then when people in Highland Hills call them, they do not come. They even tell them to stop calling them. This is the same thing in Pleasant Grove, near EV Comstock, around that area. Police do not show up unless there's a dead body. So that's why people like myself and my comrades, we led an armed patrol in
Thank you,
Highland
Mr.
Hills.
Peters. That is your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. LaCoila, same question for you. Many people in Dallas feel that I was going to read it for you, just to be fair to you. Many people in Dallas feel that we need new approaches to reducing crime in our neighborhoods. What are your specific budget priorities for public safety and allocations you will support? And what changes would you propose? And how will those ideas improve policing in District 8? Go ahead.
Okay, one thing I do think we do need to get rid of some of the military weapons that they have, like the tank. The tanks and all that stuff. We don't need that, because I do recall back when Mr. Harper was shot, and they went to South Dallas. They had all these. They had some military like weapons, which something you don't use on the people. I mean, I was called there. I went to City Hall. I talked about it, and I thought that was unnecessary to have that kind of gear. So really, if you're going to defund the police, I'm hoping that's all they're talking about taking away, because we can't get rid of people unless they the bad apples. Like I said, we need to get rid of the bad apples. Now, we can't just get rid of a whole police department, but the funding can go to help the homeless also. The homeless need to get some help also. Now, a lot of people say, hey, they doing this and that for the homeless. I don't see them doing anything. They moving them from one camp to another camp to another camp. And that needs to stop, because there is land available that can be used. Okay, so really in mental health issues, that is one thing that needs to be addressed. So if they're going to do anything, I mean, helping the homeless is one thing, because some of the homeless folks are veterans. Most of them have served this country, and they're left out there to rot dang near. So I have a problem with that. I have a problem with our homeless veterans still being on the street, and then they're left out there stuck with nothing. So one thing we can do is we need to use some money for the homeless people. That's one thing, and the mental health folks. And that's the only thing I can say we can use the money for if we're going to take some money from the police department. But we really got to get rid of the bad apples that are in there, because letting them leave and go from one department to another department, and then they also let them come back. So that's another problem. If you're going to fire somebody and let them come back 2 years later, then you're not helping the citizens here in the whole city.
Time.
I mean,
Ms. London, that's your time. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Okay.
All right. Just as a reminder to our audience, if you have any questions that you'd like to ask the candidates, you can send them to Soraya in the Zoom chat. We're going to move on to question 5. It will be about food deserts. About 5 years ago, District 8 Council member Tanel Atkins persuaded the city of Dallas to invest nearly $3 million in a plan to open a grocery store in a food desert. Now that store is closed, and there has been nothing to replace it. What are your specific plans to remedy this issue? LaQuela, we're going to...
Okay, thank you. That's one thing I want to do. I think we should get a WinCo because it's a warehouse store. It can bring in about 30 to 40 jobs or more. So I think this is one thing that the economic development team should have been talking to, a WinCo. I mean, I see a WinCo, the WinCo in Duncanville is doing good. We don't have none in Dallas. So I think we could bring a WinCo, really a central market. If we can talk to them, $3 million, believe me, if you would have gave $3 million to a central market investor, they would have came here. But when they play the buddy system, because this man, the man that had the grocery store, he kept no food in it. He also a landlord that's really a slumlord. So I have a problem with that. It's like they playing a buddy system. They let him get a grocery store and he wasn't doing anything with his apartment complex. So it really didn't make any sense to give a person millions of dollars to do nothing for the community. That's a real sad situation when you could have went to someone like a Central Market. Yeah, $3 million, you should have went to a Central Market. You should have went to a Aldi, maybe even Winco. And I really think that's one thing we can't get here. Winco is a really a warehouse store. I'd rather have a Winco than a Cash Saver. Cash Saver is a cost plus store. They're taxing every item. They're taxing. So it doesn't make sense. I don't think Cash Saver is a store that we need in our neighborhood. I would really wish that would leave.
Thank you, LaQuela. Devontae,
Okay.
I'll repeat the question for you. About 5 years ago, District 8 Council member Tanel Atkins persuaded the city of Dallas to invest nearly $3 million in a plan to open a grocery store in a food desert. Now that store is closed and there has been nothing to replace it. What are your specific plans to remedy this issue?
Well, for, one thing I'm doing currently, actually, I'm organizing a community garden in the 5 Mile area, actually not too far from, this store. In addition to that, we should fund other community gardens where people could actually, address the food desert situation in their own backyards or right in their community. Outside of that, outside of community gardens and empowering the people. Yes, we do need a grocery model that we're proud of. We don't need a Cash Saver Mart, like the sister said. We don't need just any grocery store. We need a grocery store that people that don't live in Highland Hills or don't live in Pleasant Grove will be proud to come to. So I want whatever store that is. Or I would actually like to talk to the people in the neighborhood, people that will be potential investors that want to invest in their community. I'm kind of opposed to, working with outside developers if we first do not speak to people in our own communities so we can empower ourselves. There are people that want to create a grocery store situation, out of their pockets. Or if we can educate the people and, get some private investment going, I feel like that would be a store that the people would be proud of and they would have a part ownership in this grocery model. So that would be my thing, supporting community gardens, also getting with the community for us to be able to develop our own grocery model that we'd be proud of.
Thank you, Devontae. All right, for question 6, it's a little bit more lighthearted. The category is favorites. What is your favorite Dallas landmark or secluded spot? And specifically, why is this place symbolic and important to you? Devontae, you're up.
Man, that's a great question. I would say my my greatest is probably just the whole area of Highland Hills. When I go there, when I was living there, I got a sense of community. When you're somebody who's looking on the outside, because I did grow up when I was very young, but I moved and then I come back. It's like you think this is a very scary place to come to. It's very violent. People just want to kill each other, and people want to live the way they live. But once you actually live amongst the community and speak to them, you understand that these are just everyday regular people who are in a irregular situation. They need sustenance. They need education. The schools are poor performing. So when you go there in Highland Hills, it's really just Pleasant Grove is the same. Wherever you go, Woodtown, these are hoods, or what we call hoods, or communities that have gems in it. So my thing is just the people at the bottom, no matter what community they live in fellowshipping with them, talking to them, building a relationship with them. That's my thing. I don't have a specific landmark because none of that speaks to me, whether if it's the Margaret Hunt Bridge, whether if it's the Reunion Tower or the ball, any of that. That doesn't speak to me like the plight of my people in my neighborhood. So that's what I would say. The people are the gem for me.
Thank you, Devontae. LaQuela, you're up. Your question again. What is your favorite Dallas landmark or secluded spot? And specifically, why is that place symbolic and important to you?
Well, actually, the only landmark that I really liked was the landmark consisting of President Kennedy. I really like that because I think it's a part of history that should not be dismissed ever. I think we need to know that part of history of this man. He did a lot for us. So I do believe that I really like the President Kennedy building that they have downtown. That's one landmark that I think that I've taken my children there so they can understand history. I mean, the situation of how he died and everything. I mean, my family knows about it. We talk about it and we keep going with it. And then I went to school in Massachusetts. So, I was told a lot of different things and I kind of had to try to do my research so I can say, hey, no, I don't think that happened this way or that way. But really, I think it's some important information that all of my folks is learning. Plus, I mean, even like my mother, she didn't really pay attention to stuff like that until I pretty much got out of college. And I think that's one landmark that I don't want to ever leave because it addresses everyone, not just Black, white, Hispanics. It addresses everyone. He wanted, everyone to have freedom. And I really do like the President Kennedy building that they have down there. That's one landmark that I really like.
Thank you, LaQuela, and thank you both for such beautiful answers. We're going to move back into business now with a housing question. What is your strategic plan to address the lack of affordable and workforce housing in the city of Dallas, understanding that affordable means different things to different people? Also, what does affordable housing mean to you? LaQuela, you'll go first.
Affordable housing doesn't mean what it says. They really go by your income. So they go by 10%, 20%, 30%, and that it's not really affordable. Affordable housing is not what it's called. I mean, you have people that's on affordable housing that can't even buy clothes for their children. I mean, because they take half of the check. So the thing is, if we don't work to try to help people get better jobs, because right now we'll economically decline pretty much jobs because we can be overeducated, we can be undereducated, it can be either or. I'm tired of people going to jobs and then the first thing they say, you overqualified. That is the new word to say, hey, I can't hire you. That has to be changed. I want that changed, period, because I have plenty of friends with degrees, like myself. I have a degree, but what can we do with it? When we go to any interview, they're telling us that, hey, we're overqualified. So how are you overqualified for a job and you don't even have one? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So one thing I do know, according to the affordable housing does not really exist. It's just a saying. because I have seen the way they do affordable housing. They have a 50% bracket, they have a 40% bracket, and they have a 30. They don't have a 20%, and they don't have a 10. So the thing is, if you make so much money, they will take pretty much sometimes they'll take 3/4 of your check. So the issue is, it's not nothing better than people getting housing. You know, even when you get housing, they do the same thing. So I have an issue with the affordable housing. I think something needs to be done differently, because you're really not helping people. You know, there's people that can't even buy their kids a pair of tennis shoes, which because you know, you got to pay so much money through whatever your income is. So that's the issue that I have with affordable housing. That needs to be changed.
And Ms. Laquila, that was time. Sorry about that. And Devontae, same question will go for you. To repeat, what is your strategic plan to address the lack of affordable and workforce housing in the city of Dallas, understanding that affordable means different things to different people? And what does affordable?
Hello, you kind of broke up. I don't know if you could hear me, but just to answer the question, yeah, so to answer the question, like I said earlier in my statement, affordable housing to me, or I guess to the city, means people that are making, who are able to afford $225,000 homes. I'm actually working with some developers now with the proposal that they sent to the city. They want to bring in homes that are $67,500 that actually people pay $500 a month, and they eventually own the home. So for me, yeah, I'm for low income housing. $900 a month is not a low income. In addition to that, furthermore, I'm with low income housing that leads to ownership. So my thing is to continue to work with these developers to support them, because what they're doing is righteous, but they're getting halted and stopped because the city does not want to help them with this project. They would rather give them invest 40% of the budget that they're asking for in their proposal. They would rather give them 40% of that if they raise the prices of these units to $225,000. But these people, they don't want to do that. Furthermore, I want to get some of these people in the community to understand and be a part of the development. You know what I'm saying? In addition to that, I think that developers should sit with, if we're going to deal with outside developers, we need to have them meet with the community, meet with the neighborhoods that surrounds the development. Also educate the community into what is development, what does this look like, and how could you be the developers in our own community? Because what they talk about, economic development, all that stuff, they're really, for me, I believe they're talking about gentrification, development that leads to displacement. I'm not with that. I'm with affordable, low income housing that also leads to home ownership, because we don't just want to be paying $500 a month or $600 a month, which is great because anybody can afford that. But we actually want to have that pride of being homeowners and have equity in our own communities. That's not what's happening. Yeah, so thank you.
Thank you. And for both of you, if I ever cut out and you need me to repeat a question, please let me know. I apologize for the technical difficulty there. We will move on to a jobs question. Devontae, you will go first. The question is, what is your commitment and strategy to establishing more workforce and job opportunities equitably throughout Dallas, including job opportunities at a variety of entry points, not just entry level in the south and southern sectors of Dallas? Go ahead, Devontae.
Right, that's a great question, a very relevant question in District 8. Like I stated earlier, I'm with getting small businesses the same support that big businesses and big corporations get in this community or in this city. Why? Because me being a small business owner, like I said, I own a health store called the Alkaline Hour. I understood if I could hire the people in my neighborhood or all these other small businesses, we could solve the job situation just on ourselves if we had that same resources and same backing and tax abatements and every incentive that these big corporations get. Furthermore, if we're going to deal with big corporations, we need to force them and put a part of the contract and the understanding that y'all need to not only hire a certain amount of people from the community, but also you need to educate them. If you're saying they're not qualified or they don't have the skill or the education or whatever your excuse is, you need to have within your department something that remediates for that lack of understanding or skill or whatever. So I feel like one, we need to start from the bottom. We need to start in supporting small businesses the same way we support big corporations and big businesses. Furthermore, we need to force big businesses and big corporations to support the community, to support the city, and have some kind of a program where we get people, we make the community a more value, where we have skills that we didn't know before, so we could be qualified to work at that position. So I think it's a two-way street, but it starts first with supporting small businesses and mom and pops like we support big corporations.
Thank you, Devontae. To repeat the question for you, LaQuela, what is your commitment and strategy to establishing more workforce and job opportunities equitably throughout Dallas, including job opportunities at a variety of entry points and not just entry level in the south and southern sectors of Dallas?
Okay, in the southern sectors, we need more jobs, because the issue is the only thing they brought up here was Amazon. Okay, and that is pretty much becoming a wreck, because the truckers, they leave trash everywhere, and we finally got them to pick it up. Well, I didn't get them to pick it up. One of the people in the area finally got them to pick it up, and it's been like that for a while. And Wilma Hutchins right down the street, which is the school that our kids have to go to. So we need more jobs, not just on Amazon and not just the little call center they have at the mall. We need something bigger than that. And the thing is, we have no grocery stores in the southern sector. I mean, the Second Save on Redbird Lane is gone. The Benedetto's and the Glendale shopping centers, they had a grocery store one time at one point, but that disappeared. That disappeared first. Then Second Save disappeared. Now Savamore has disappeared. So the issue is there can be jobs with all of these grocery stores, but the issue is I want to get rid of Family Dollars. I'm sick of them building Family Dollars, because it's not a place for us. They don't sell vegetables, they don't sell fruit, and it's time for that to end. If they're not going to sell the things that we need vegetables, we need fruit, we need things like that. We don't need junk food and food that's going to cause obesity and health problems. So I am for more grocery stores in the southern sector, so there can be jobs that way. And I'm for Family Dollars to not exist, because they also, with theft, they double dip. They go up on the prices, and when they go up on the prices, another thing they do is they file insurance on the item. So that don't make any sense. So I don't agree with Family Dollars being in the neighborhood at all. It's time to stand up and get big corporation stores, Central Market, Whole Foods, something like that, Kroger, whatever.
Thank you, LaQuela.
Okay.
Okay. Question 9 is going to be another lighter question. What is something about you that would surprise people, like a hobby or a talent? LaQuela, we'll go with you first.
Say it again.
Yep. What is something about you that would surprise people, like a hobby or a talent?
Or a hobby or a talent? Well, I played basketball. I think the whole world know that I played basketball. Because I went to South Oak Cliff, and I was a basketball star. And then I went around the country playing basketball. It's just that I came back here, and what they probably wouldn't know, I played volleyball also. So that's something that I do, and I pretty much play around the neighborhood once upon a time with the kids. So a lot of people around the neighborhood know, oh, that's the basketball lady. So the political world wouldn't know that I played basketball, probably, unless they really dig deep into when I went to school.
Very cool. If I can ask a follow-up question, what position did you play?
I was a point guard. I like to run everything.
Cool.
Yeah, I was a point.
Thanks, LaQuela. Devontae, what about you? What is something about you that would surprise people, like a hobby or a talent?
Man, I don't know if it would surprise people, but shit, I'm a musician, you know what I'm saying? I do music. I go by Brother Shout. I could tap in. Most people know that though. Maybe more surprising than that, you know, I'm actually out on bond as we speak for my role in the Dallas 9 protest, standing up for Botham Jean. Also, you know, I led the efforts along with my comrade Yafeo Balagoon, Dr. Pamela Grayson, to change Lamar Street to Botham Jean Boulevard. That might surprise people because they probably don't know that I had anything to do with that. Also, maybe I'm the youngest candidate running. I also own a store. I'm a store owner. I don't know if that surprises people or not.
That's a lot of different things. Do you mind if I ask, do you do karaoke? I know you said you make music.
No, I don't do karaoke.
No, that's all right.
Only in the shower.
Only in the shower. Shower karaoke.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, y'all. So question 10 is going to be our last question of the regular rounds. It will be about the digital divide. So just over 40% of Dallas households lack a fixed internet connection, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas. That gives Dallas the worst household connection rate among the country's 10 largest cities. If elected, what will you do to close the digital divide in District 8? Devontae, you're first.
Okay. First, I'm for empowering the people, educating the people. That's my whole platform. There are cities like Detroit. There's cities, people in New York, they're creating their own Wi-Fi. You know what I'm saying? So I would, in their own routers and internet system, I would want to educate the people, bring those people in and have them educate, you know, our community so we can take control within ourselves. Furthermore, outside of that, outside of empowering the people, I would also like to force, change the negotiations with these internet service providers. Y'all should have the same internet service or quality of service that north of I-30 has in south of I-30. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, you know, whatever the bidding process is and however they go to negotiate who is going to get service where and in what like areas like Highland Hills, I feel like we get DHL. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is DHL? You feel me? And I feel like that is a part of institutional racism. Casey Thomas is talking about racial equity. They passed a board for racial equity and all of that. They need to have some racial equity when it comes to service, internet service, because a lot of businesses, especially before I got my brick and mortar, or really even with my brick and mortar, I rely completely or tremendously on internet. If I didn't have access to internet, I would not be in the same position I am right now with my store, the Alkaline Hour. Outside of that, I know there are so many other small businesses, mom and pop businesses that need internet, high speed internet, to change the lifestyles and the better serve the community. So one, we need to get fix the bidding process, and we need to get a prestigious internet in South Dallas specifically, not just District 8, but South Dallas completely.
Perfect. That was time right there.
Awesome. Thanks, Devontae. And LaQuela, for you, I'll repeat the whole question. Just over 40% of Dallas households lack a fixed internet connection, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas. That gives Dallas the worst household connection rate among the country's 10 largest cities. What will you do, if elected, to close the digital divide in District 8? Go ahead.
Okay, what I would do is, I like the AT&T internet that they have when they put the internet in the ground and everything. I would like to have that. I don't want the big towers that they're putting up, because the big towers are going to put up too much radiation. It's going to cause a lot of people to get hurt, get sick, die. I mean, I don't think they need to put all those towers up. They have to do something different, because you can't have a lot of radiation that's going into everybody's bodies. So I agree with Dan. I don't like Spectrum at all. I really do think someone needs to compete with Spectrum, because really that's what they put in this neighborhood, Spectrum, which it's not a good service. It's not a service that's going to help anybody in the southern sector. And AT&T, they only go in certain parts of the neighborhoods, which is another issue. I would like AT&T to get a contract and with the people that's in this neighborhood. This neighborhood need more than Spectrum. Spectrum is a poorly designed internet service as well as cable service that they have. I really hate that they got rid of Comcast as their competitor, because the issue is those big towers that they're trying to put up. I don't agree with putting them up. That's going to cause a lot of people to get sick and die. So we got to find another alternative.
Thank you, LaQuila. And thank you, candidates. We finished segment 1. We're going to move on to segment 2 now, and we'll be opening it up to our audience. To start us off, we have great questions from Isaiah, Randall, and Omar. So we got rules for this segment 2. Keep your questions brief so that we can get to as many people as possible. There will be no follow-ups, and candidates will have 2 minutes to respond to audience questions. All right, our first question is from Randall Bryant. Go ahead, Randall.
Thank you. My question is, we're about to embark on what could be the most important redistricting cycle since the passing of 14-1 in 1991. What knowledge do you have of the redistricting process, and what outcomes would you like to see for District 8?
LaQuila, we'll start with you.
Okay, the redistricting thing that they have, that is a mess. Really, I don't know why they do it, because it's totally not fair for the southern sector. And even with the dealing with the Democrat process and the Republican process is totally out of whack, because they have it where when they do the redistricting, they have it where this section over here is pretty much all Republican. This section over here is somewhat Republican, Democratic, and I really don't understand. It's not fair, because you have more people voting in certain areas, which leads to this state always being a Republican state also. So I think the redistricting things that they do, I don't agree with it. I want something done about that, because it's never done at where the southern sector is getting anything out of it, in my eyes. So I don't like the redistricting that they do, and they keep doing it over and over and over. So
thank you, LaQuila. Oh, go ahead. Are you?
Oh, I'm done.
Okay. Apologies, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Devontae, would you like for me to repeat the question, or would you like to answer?
I'll answer. Okay. So the redistricting process, pretty much what they're doing is they're further perpetuating gerrymandering. What they're doing is making this an unfair advantage for people in the community, for the everyday people. What they're doing is also, trying to conserve power, which I don't think is right. When I get in office, what my strategy would be is redraw the lines redraw the lines to where I can serve the most vulnerable communities. What my thing is not about preserving power. It's not that's not my thing. But I understand, people in politics, real politicians, that's their thing. They want to, keep their votes and I'm sure there's other political influence behind, the lines they draw. But for me, it's being able to serve the most vulnerable people, the people who need representation the most. Furthermore, furthermore, that's pretty much my thing. I don't have a super intimate, deep understanding outside of that, and I'm gonna be honest with that. But I do understand that they do use this to conserve power, to further perpetuate gerrymandering. And when you deal with these politicians, they get money from all these places, and I'm sure a lot of that their backers are helping them or influencing their decisions to write their lines as well. So that's my thing. My thing is about equity, about serving those on the bottom of the totem pole, and so that's kind of my perspective on that.
Thank you, Devontae. Our next audience question will be about senior care. It's from Shwanda. Are you here? Shwanda, are you here? I'll ask the question. There are a large population of elders in District 8. What do you propose to help seniors obtain assistance repair or maintain their homes? Habitat for Humanity repairs, plumbing, reliable contractors, etc. Devontae, we'll start with you.
Yeah, so seniors are definitely a part of they're vulnerable a lot of the times, especially if they don't have a loving family. Like people probably are. Y'all love your elders, your old folks. Some people don't have that same reality. You feel me? Some people are by themselves. If their community doesn't look out for them, then they don't have a lot of help. My thing is, I want to build a community center for elders, for seniors, not just in one side of the district, but district wide. And we have different hubs. Also do events specifically for seniors. Elders in a community, they're what give us our wisdom. They're what makes us us. And if they're not treated and upheld dearly, like third world countries treat their elders, then I feel like what everything we're doing is in vain. So from health support, from helping them do, like, just even with the Texas winter storm, a lot of elders, seniors needed help with their insurance claims, filing their insurance claims, getting resources, and all of these things. A lot of them need help. I was able to help a few, not as many as I wanted to, but we need programs and services for people who are dedicated into helping, elders that are at disadvantage, So those are my things. Building institutions. We don't really have institutions that help old folks. Yeah, we might have a WellMed over by Redbird Mall, but in reality, we don't necessarily just need an old folks club. We need a place where elders could actually get these necessities, these services that they dearly need. A lot of elders are big on the COVID shot and stuff. I'm on the opposite side of that spectrum. I own a health store, so I want to give access to holistic options to help elders in that situation.
Thank you, Mr. Peters. That is your time. Yep.
Thank you.
LaCoila, you'll be next to answer. There are a large population of elders in District 8. What do you propose to help seniors obtain assistance repair or maintain their homes? Habitat for Humanity repairs, plumbing, reliable contractors, things of that nature. Go ahead.
Well, one thing I do want, I want to happen is the problem that we had, like with the people having things, pipes busting in their homes and all that. They was getting taken. Some of them was getting taken advantage of because they were saying that they had insurance policies that was pretty good, and then there was some that they was trying to deny them. And it's taking a longer. It's really, they have already denied them, even with the help with FEMA. FEMA has not even been much of any help either. So one thing we have to do is I want to really do an overhaul of FEMA, because when they come here and they say they're going to help a lot of our seniors, the thing is they look at the insurance policies that they have, and then it's like them, FEMA and the insurance companies are working together. So you have people that seems as if they've been paying this policy forever and nothing has been done. I think the city gonna have to do something different, because when the state come and help us, FEMA, it's like it's a waste of time. You got a lot of people doing a lot of paperwork to get denied, which is very unfair. So one thing I do think we need to set up some kind of program. A program has to be set up just for our seniors, because they have insurance and they've been paying all this money for years. And one thing I do know about some insurance companies, they try to use water damage as an excuse of not paying out. Just like when we had the big storm, the storm before this one, we had a big storm and a lot of people didn't want to pay out because they was looking at, they had this clause in the middle of the insurance companies, in the insurance on the paper saying that they didn't do anything about water damage. Okay, what do you expect? Most storms gonna deal with water damage. So you have a person putting in on a policy, and then now they're 60, 65 and over. And I think it's very unfair that they can't really get any help, because the city don't help them. FEMA really don't help them. They get denied at every angle with FEMA.
Ms. London, that is your time. I apologize. Thank you for your answer. Our next question will be about election financing, and it's from Isaiah Madrigal. Isaiah, are you here?
It's easier at night.
Hello?
I am. I'm sorry. I had too many things going on at 1 second.
That's okay. Please ask your question.
Yeah. You all mentioned Amazon and small businesses. Do you have any history of organizing working people? If not, these big corporations often don't have unions that offer higher wages and better work conditions created by the people that create the wealth. Would you commit today to help me organize the Amazon workers in Dallas, like the efforts in Alabama, a mostly Black workforce? And also, do you support unions in workforce in general? I belong to a APWU, American Postal Workers Union.
And Isaiah, I think there was actually a different question that you had submitted that we approved.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Most
it's
working
okay.
people don't have time
Yeah.
run for office, knowing that they often don't have money to run for office and often living paycheck to paycheck. Do you support publicly financed elections like in Austin, Seattle, and Oakland? They offer grants, matching funds, or vouchers.
So our first candidate to answer that question is going to be LaCoila.
Okay, I support grants if this city would do that, but that's not happening right now. You pretty much have to. I don't like going to different organizations to see if they want to endorse you or whatever, because I finance my own this time. I didn't ask anybody for anything, and I did it myself. So the issue is, I don't. I mean, I would like to see how we can use grants to help us politically, but that'll probably be hard to do. I would like to work with you on that. By any means necessary, we can make something like that happen. I would like to do something like that, but like I said, it's all about this organization helping you or this organization, but you got to think about it. When you're dealing with these organizations, they want something back. Now, I mean, we're trying to get in, so it's not, we just can't up and say, hey, we're going to help you do this and do that. You know, I feel that it doesn't make any sense that I have to come to you, and then you give me a lot of questions, and then I answer the questions, and then you, at the end, this is what they say. Well, what can you do for us? I mean, hey, I'm not here to do anything for you. I'm here to help the people. That's just simple as that. I'm here to help the seniors. I'm here to help the children. I'm here to help the people that need it. You know, the Southern sector has a lot of people that need help. And that's what I'm here for. I'm not here to help any organizations to get richer. We're here to help neighborhoods. And that's something that I've been doing for years. I've been helping people. So that's my plan. But if we can use grants somewhere, I would like to try to make that happen.
Thank you, LaCoila. Devontae, would you like for me to repeat the question?
One more time, please.
Most working people don't have time to run for office. Knowing this, they often don't have money to run for office and often are living paycheck to paycheck. Do you support publicly financed elections like in Austin, Seattle, and Oakland, where they offer grants, matching funds, or vouchers?
Okay, yeah, most definitely. Shit, I need a grant right now. You know what I'm saying? Should give me a grant. Yeah, I know all about it. This not being my first campaign. This is my second campaign. I ran in 2019. I was actually living with somebody. I didn't have a job. I didn't have my own place to stay. I was actually staying with my campaign manager, Marcus X. Russell. So I know what it's like, not only being a homeless activist, but shit, being a candidate that's damn near homeless. So I understand all of that. You feel me? Now I'm in a different position just because I'm able to have a store. But it's not like I just make buku, like a large lump sums of money. I'm still an everyday regular person who I'm pretty much my main financial contributor. So if I knew where to get a grant from, yes, I would love. I need that right now. I don't have a lot of funds, personally, to commit. Outside of that, just like LaColia was saying, these organizations are hitting you up to to fill out all these long questionnaires, and then they hit you with, well, what could you do for me? Or they're not giving you any volunteers, they're not giving you any money. So, you know, I feel like all around we're being used, but definitely regular people don't necessarily have the finances to run for office, but they probably would if they could. So if we got to keep it public, and then a lot of times I feel like, you know, capitalism and whoever has the money or those connections, those business connections or corporate connections, they're able to, you know, price us out of the election. So I'm definitely for that.
Thank you, Devontae. Thank you, Laquila. And thank you, Isaiah, for your question. Our last question in our audience round is going to come from Omar Jimenez. It's going to be about redistricting. Omar, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Yes.
Go ahead.
So, what do you think District 8 would be shaped as in the next redistricting cycle whenever the city gets the data?
Can you repeat that?
Omar, can you repeat your question?
Yes, what do you think District 8 would be shaped as in the next redistricting cycle whenever the city gets the data from the census?
And candidates, do you need clarification on what that means?
Yes, I do.
Omar, could you clarify what you mean by that?
Okay, so do you think we would be chopping some neighborhoods and moving them into different districts? Do you think the district is going to be the same when it comes to boundaries?
And Devontae will be the first one to answer that question.
Yeah, I don't have the foresight to answer that question adequately. I will say this: what I feel like it'll look like is whatever shape or whatever it looks like, it would look like it would be reflected upon however you know, if the current incumbent was to get reelected, it would, however it looked like, it would look like whatever means to whatever way they have to hoard power and to continue to get elected or whoever's backing them to you know, for them to get you know, a political advantage. I think that's what it looked like with me. I don't necessarily know the shape. I would just want to get as much of the vulnerable neighborhoods as I can to support them. So as far as the shape or whatever, I don't know.
Thank you, Devontae. Laquila, would you like to answer that question?
I feel that it's gonna be redesigned. When it do get redesigned, it's not gonna benefit. It's not gonna make a change District 8 at all, because, like I said, how they do it is where it's unfair for the southern sector. The southern sector side is always unfair for the people on this side. They do their redistricting to help, you know, different organizations, and they do it to get their pockets rich. I'm gonna be honest with you. They do it to get some money from this person and this person and this person. They do it for particular people. They don't be doing it for people. This is business oriented. So when they do that redistricting, they're doing it, you know, to politically to help themselves through different companies, pretty much.
Thank you, Laquila. Well, everyone, that concludes the District 8 Candidate Forum from Reform Dallas. The recording will be available on reformdallas.io, where we also have a comprehensive election guide with resources on all of our candidates and campaign finance. We would like to thank the candidates, the audience, and members of Reform Dallas for participating tonight. Please make sure to stay on the Zoom meeting as the District 7 Candidate Forum begins shortly.
I thank y'all for y'all's opportunity. Peace.
Thank you so much.
Y'all have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you. And y'all are welcome to stay for the next forum as well if you'd like to see how other people do in the hot seat. We'd love to have you.
So I'll type back in.